Greetings and welcome back to the Streamfest live studio. So we thought we'd just give you a quick look around at what's going on here. We've got Martin K on the camera, who you can't see, but I'm sure he'll just give you a little nod on the camera there, or a wave. There we go. We've got Rudy down here on social media and YouTube and stuff, doing a great job there, Rudy. Thank you very much. And currently I'm doing the switching, which is why there's been a couple of little mistakes. Sorry about the room audio earlier, that was my fault. I didn't press the little button. So we're using the X-Keys XK24 for this production. And the little button I forgot to press was the little blue one here with the microphones on it. I'll probably remember that now for the rest of the day. So we've got a laptop next to it here, which is running vMix. This is our production system. We're bringing Zoom and vMix calls into here, and we've got, for example, the Madewell link there, which we will be going to shortly. Over to my right here I have a couple of little monitors set up, which we've got the Zoom room on, and you can probably just see the multi-view there. Good morning to Chris, I can see you in there. Yeah, I can see Chris waving on the screen. Greetings to you. And the monitor to its right is telling us who's in there, and we've got some chat going on, which I haven't been reading, so I shall have to go and have a look at that in a second. We're using a Behringer 404, which is hidden behind the monitors here for the audio. And Martin K has an audio mixing desk at the back of the room, which is plugged into this, and he's mixing the audio and just making sure I don't go completely over the top. We set up a little network in here. You can probably, well, you probably can't see there's a switch down there, and then next to it there's a laptop. And we're doing a Tom Sinclair here. We are using the laptop to send out the stream. And you'll see we already have on the preview monitor there sorry, we're having technical difficulties thing, so that if the main production machine crashes, we can quickly switch that up while we get sorted out. But you can see that that one is sending the live stream out currently to YouTube. So that's the sort of basic setup. We're using the network to connect the camera. This particular camera is connected via BirdDog Studio. And that is being fed through the Ethernet back to here. We also have another camera which is plugged in to a Madewell USB 3 dongle, so if the network breaks down, at least we've still got a backup camera that we can go to. Will your camera swing round to what's behind you, do you reckon? We've not tried this, I've just sprung this on Martin. Do you reckon it would see that?
Possibly. Not that there's much to see.
There's just see the mixer there, so that's Martin is controlling the mixer, and we've got a few other bits on there, the network, and up to the right slightly there and up a bit you've got the router. That's our internet connection. It's providing us with the link to the outside world. Now I'm pleased to say on our PCs over here where we're monitoring the social media, I'm also monitoring the YouTube. And I'm pleased to say it's green at the moment. It was a little bit bumpy, I think, to start with, but hopefully it will remain green now. So we have got the audio on in the Zoom room. If anybody does want to ask us any questions about the setup here, then please feel free to do so. Now, one of the things I've got to do between programs is to move the data on to the next item, so that we have a spreadsheet. I don't know if Martin can see that. If you zoom in, it's all very titchy text, but this is the vMix data inputs, and we have a spreadsheet on Google Sheets which has all the schedule for Streamfest Live in there with all the times and everything. So between the programs I have to go and click on the next one to load the next set of data for the program coming up. And if I get rid of that now, Martin may well be able to see on the screen there that up next we have Madewell TV. It's actually saying in 25 minutes, so I must have missed something a minute ago when I was talking to Martin. So if you're listening, Martin, you're on in 25 minutes or 24 minutes and a bit, so you've got a little bit of time there to get set up. Let me just have a look back at the data, which I need to just do this, and then I can see. Oh yes, we allowed half an hour for this, that's why. So yeah, if anybody does have any questions in the Zoom room, please feel free to speak up. And in fact, if you want to call in on Zoom, if you'd like to go along to stepbackintime.tv and find the chat link, you can join in on the Zoom room. Now, if you join in on the Zoom room, you can be part of the audience when people are giving their presentations, which means you can stop them and ask questions. Yes, Rudy, we have a question.
Kenny is asking, what are the small monitors to your right and the kind of inputs to them?
Okay, Kenny, good question, thank you. So they are a pair of 7-inch monitors. They are made by a company called Viltrox. They're fairly inexpensive, available on Amazon. That's where these ones came from. And they're HDMI. What is quite nice is they have HDMI pass-through, so you can use them to monitor in line, which is useful. We are using them for the Zoom room and to monitor the Zoom chat. Now there's actually something on here. Let me have a quick look. Hi guys, do you have a call key for me? Oh, that's Martin. And Chris was saying that he could hear me over the video, so that's why I should pay attention to what's going on in our Zoom chat room.
I'll put a link in the YouTube chat for the monitors.
Excellent. Okay, is it possible to put one in there to Step Back in Time in the chat room as well? That would be great. I heard some audio then. Chris, do you want to say something?
Yeah, g'day Giles. This is, as you said, Chris here. I'm just curious, I noticed that you're not using the R16 tonight. How do you compare the R16 to your Behringer audio device?
That's a good question. They're both good devices. The Behringer doesn't require so much setup when you plug it in. It just comes up immediately as an audio device, whereas the R16, I have to remember to put it into audio device mode. And I only need one input, so I just thought I would use this one for convenience. I like the R16 though because it is a combined MIDI control surface and audio interface. So you can use the faders on the top of the device and all the buttons to control things in vMix, as well as having it as an audio interface, so it's kind of two devices in one. So yeah, we do like the R16. I believe you do have one, Chris. He's giving us the thumbs up there, he does. So yeah, that's good. I just noticed a little bit of hiss when I switched from my input here, and I suspect what's happening is that I'm getting audio from one of these cameras. So I just want to see if I can find that. There it is. Right, there we go. We've stopped that bit of hiss coming in. All little tweaks that we have to make during the live production. So yeah, please do come and join us on Zoom. As I say, later on in the day, as things get going and we have more presentations, there will be the opportunity for you to join in and ask questions. There will also be some panel discussions which we're going to hold on Zoom itself, so you can sort of kind of be there as real live audience if you wish to be. That should be good. We will be going over to Martin in a little while. He's 20 minutes away from now. If you want to join in on Zoom, you can talk to the guys there and ask some questions. They will be able to talk back to you directly. So it's a good opportunity. It's actually a 3-hop link, which is kind of entertaining. So that should be interesting. Yes, Rudy.
Another question from Kenny. I see a decimator back with Martin K. What's that converting?
Okay, the camera that we're using at the back of the room, Kenny, is an old HVR-Z1 Sony camera, and it doesn't have HDMI. So we're converting the component video out to HDMI, and then originally I put it straight into a bird dog, and the bird dog didn't like the 1080i that was coming out of there, so I put it through the decimator to get the picture sorted out. It's converting it to 1080p 25 feed, which the bird dog is happy with. Interestingly, the Magewell did work directly with it, but the bird dog didn't seem to want to do that, so I'm talking to them about that at the moment. But generally speaking, we found that the bird dog devices are very good, and they will talk to most things. So yeah, that's what that's doing. The decimator is an excellent device for cross-converting from HDMI to SDI or SDI to HDMI, or you can use it as a splitter, and it'll change frame sizes, frame rates, all sorts of things. It's a sort of Swiss Army knife of conversions, so a handy tool to have, definitely. Okay, we got anything else ready in there at the moment? No? Okay. So do join us, Kenny, if you would like to on Zoom. I'm sure, and anybody else, as I say, if you've been following what's been happening with Madewell, when we've been talking about it on the World of Live Streaming, you may like to join in with the Zoom room and actually have the opportunity to talk to the people down there directly. So they're very busy getting set up at the moment, so we will, as I say, be going across to them in just around 18 minutes from now. But in between times, I'm going to play out a video that Dan has sent me. In the early days of X-Keys, their sort of primary product was a thing called the Rail Driver. And if you're into train simulations or anything like that, you'll probably find this next video quite interesting. So I'm going to go over to my playlists here, and in my playlist C I have got the video, and I'm going to queue it up in the output and then transfer it over to you. Enjoy.
Hi guys, this is Dan, and this guy next to me is not Miranda, it's John from our tech support department, and we're going to talk about something a little bit different than the usual today. You know, usually we're all about X-Keys because X-Keys is our flagship product and you can do so many things with it, but that's not the only product PI Engineering makes. We also make the only train cab simulation controller for the computer. It's a USB device like our X-Keys are, but it's got all these controls, prototypical controls for the train. And I know very little about the train, so I'm going to let John tell you about it now. We'll go over here and look at, tell us what simulation we have around here, John.
Right now we've got Train Simulator, Trains with a Z, Train Simulator 2012 running. I am pulling a Santa Fe train on the Mojave subdivision to simulate in the Mojave. Right now I have the game paused, but here we will start the train up.
There, we got a shot of the controller for you so you can see what John's doing with it.
Right now I got the brakes, train brakes, emergency, which is default. I don't sure know if they do this for real trains or not. But anyway, let's get going here. We'll put her in forward. Release the brakes. We'll put her in notch 2 to get going. Move too much.
Got a heavy train, so it's going to take there. We're starting.
We'll start. See, we're moving here slowly. I can look around with the D-pad.
So John, walk me through those controls, like from starting with the horn level over there.
All right, this is the basic diesel locomotive, or American diesel locomotive. You got the horn switch, bell, and then sand, like if we're going uphill, we're not getting any traction. And then your reverser, forward, throttle right here. train brakes. This controls the actual train brakes, and this independent brake motor here, this is for the locomotive itself, just like on a real locomotive.
So that's the only locomotive where the other ones control all the cars and everything. That's
cars right here, and then locomotive here. So like if we didn't have a train coupled with a real train, we would just use this.
And you got lights, wipers.
Yep, let's see if the wipers work. In some games they work, other ones they do not.
It's kind of up to the developer there to support that. We offer everything, and some developers do a real nice job of integrating.
The lights here. And we can see they're coming on the bottom right corner. Also with my MIDI control panel for the game. If I chose to control it through the mouse, otherwise I had to do it on screen. We're using the rail there.
The 19 on the display, that's the speed?
That is the speed, yes. As you can see, we're slowly speeding up. We're going up a hill right now, so that's when we're going up. In fact, increase the throttle. Our speed limit is 70. If we're at full throttle, and let's see what we can do with this one.
So, how many different simulations does a Raildriver work with?
It works with 11 games so far. There's a couple that I've just released that it's not compatible with. We're not sure if they're going to be or not. We are working with a developer right now for another release, but I'm not sure when it's going to be released. The newest version of Trains.
Yeah.
And Trains Simulator should be compatible shortly.
If you guys want more information on this, you can go to raildriver.com at the website here. And then we'll just go into it. So these sell for, it's about 200, right? And then 210 or 220 with this, bundled with the simulation. We have them on our site, and we have them in Amazon for Christmas presents. Oh, there's your chart on the simulations that it's compatible with.
And the price. You can buy it with Train Simulator included or just the Raildriver itself. Yep. Personally, I recommend Trains because it's more customizable. That's just my personal favorite game.
Gotcha. So the Raildriver itself is $199.95.
Yes.
And then depending on, I think, yeah, there we are. We're currently bundling it with Train Simulator 2017 for $209.95.
But through Steam, it'll automatically update to Train Simulator 2018.
Okay. And we're back, and we're up to 43.
43 and a single mile.
So I remember when we first came out with this, Microsoft Train Simulator was the one. Way back, yeah. And we used to joke about it, that the pros, it's just like driving a real train. Cons, it's just like driving a real train. So there's, if you enjoy that thing, where it's going to take you an hour to go over a long route, it's really cool. But some of these hardcore gamers that are used to shoot 'em up stuff, you just can't handle it that pace.
Even this level we got going, if I wanted to play through the entire level, it would take about 2 hours if we went to speed limit in the game, which I was actually under. But there are people into that, and that's fine. I play these games myself. I had to complete the levels. Don't have time to sit and drive train for 2 hours.
Right. Well, I think, you gave us a really good look of what the Raildriver is, what its capabilities are. If you call into us for tech support on the Raildriver, more than likely you're going to get John, because he's our expert on that.
Company rail fan.
Yeah, there was a story that you're new here, so I don't think you heard this one. The Raildriver has a subwoofer built into it so that you can actually feel the rumble of the engine as you're driving. And the reason for that is when Michael was developing it, at one point he had the prototype and he ran out of room on his desk and he was looking for some place to put it down, and he ended up sitting it on top of his sound system subwoofer. And then as he was testing it, he could feel that vibration from the subwoofer, and he said, wow, this is really makes it feel real. It's just adds a whole level of immersion into it. So that changed the design. We ended up incorporating a subwoofer into the design of it. That's how that came to be. Anything else we need to tell them, John? I think we gave them a decent overview.
Decent overview. If you love diesel locomotives, this is the thing for you. It's not compatible with steam locomotives, unfortunately. They'd be a whole different control system.
There is a pretty wide variety of routes out there, though, right? I mean, US and UK and...
Correct. In fact, if you're a member of these game developer sites, they got forums, they got users that make their own levels from all over the world. I've seen Russian, American, a lot of British, a lot of German, a couple of Swiss, but you dig deep enough, you might even find your local rail line in there.
That's pretty cool. And there are guys that are developing new stuff all the time still.
Yes, it's a heavily modded community. I was surprised at how many people are into it. I mean, I'm a rail fan myself. I don't normally admit to that, but now I hear it on a regular basis. I do it for a living now, so.
All right, very cool. John, thanks for your time, and you guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you.
Okay, and welcome back. We will be going over to Martin Steed at Madewell in approximately 8 minutes. I can see them getting set up there. It's all looking good. So we will be joining them shortly. In between times, we'll come back to the studio here, and we've just been enjoying the X keys demonstration there. Thank you there for that one, Dan. If there are any questions from the Zoom room about what we're doing, then please do come in and say hello. I'll be very pleased to see anybody who wants to come and talk to us. I see we've got a few people connected, and we've got a number of people on YouTube as well. If you want to ask questions through YouTube, as Kenny was doing earlier, then please do. That's no problem. Or if you've got any comments, feedback about the video or whatever, I can see we're going between green and orange on the on YouTube Live. Often when it's orange, it's okay, but let us know if it's buffering. It's probably just busy 4G or something like that. Because as we said earlier, we're using a 4G connection between here and Hatherley, just up the road, which is actually where Martin is. And it's a line of sight connection, but the network obviously does get congested, so sometimes there will be a bit of dropout. If you do experience dropout, don't worry, we're recording all the presentations and we will be putting them up afterwards as individual programs at full 1080p as well, so you'll be able to see those. Okay, anything in the Zoom room? Anybody want to say anything?
Yeah.
Oh, we got.
After Streamfest, we're going to put the timestamps on the.
Oh yes, that's right. Rudy's just pointed out to me that we will also put the timestamps on the live stream so that you can go directly to at least the first 12 hours of this event. YouTube doesn't keep more than 12 hours of the recording, unfortunately, for the live bit. So the stuff that's broadcast later that doesn't go into that live recording, we will put up as soon as we can after the event is over. So it's good to see everybody in YouTube. Thank you for coming and joining us. Apologise if you can hear noises off. We're in the hotel rooms of the Duke of York at Iddesleigh, as we were last year. So there's stuff going on around us, but it all adds to the ambience. It's all good stuff. Proves where we are as well. Okay, well, we'll be going over to Martin in 5 minutes from now, and so I can see them all getting set up. That's it's looking good, and just like to also give a big thanks to our sponsors once again. Thank you to Dan Slider from X Keys, who's our main sponsor this year. Gavin Gratian from Manchester Video Limited, thank you very much. Tom Sinclair from Eastern Shore Broadcasting, thank you. Rudy, School of Live Streaming, thank you Rudy, he's actually in here for me to say that. And Jim Jacobs from the Friday Night Network. He's also one of our sponsors, and we'd also like to thank all the benefactors who have supported the event. We will list them a little later on. Okay, so in the remaining 4 minutes we are going to give you something else to chew on. Later on, when we join New Zealand, we will be having a look at a live event being done by Video Hub. So let's give you a taste of what they do. Okay, well, that's some exciting stuff coming up later on, as you saw there. We will be joining Martin in just a minute. I can see that they're getting set up there nicely now. We'll just give you a few seconds, Martin, and then we will come and join you. I can see Tilly there with a camera and a big fluffy microphone on it. Fantastic. This minute just before we go live gives me just enough time to thank our benefactors, Amnon Nisson of Nisson Communications, Chris Morton of Video Hub, which you just saw their trailer video there, Mike Benke of Panimation, who will be on later, Elmar Lamb of Vinus, thank you very much, and Michael Wilson of Mid-South Broadcasting. Thank you guys for supporting this event. Okay, in around 30 seconds we should be going over to Madewell. So I can see them all getting ready there, headphones on, so this is good stuff. Yeah, they're all just getting nicely set up. It's very hot in the shed where they are, so okay. Okay, after the intro sequence, Martin, we'll be over to you.